Want to know what caused me to give up coffee? Like literally for years, I was so addicted to coffee. I then had my daughter and I thought, oh, I can't have caffeine. I stopped cold turkey. When I started doing research, I couldn't believe the benefits of matcha tea. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Annette Bau, host of the Millionaire Insider. For over 30 years, I've been advising and researching the top 1% and 2% of millionaires to learn what millionaires with amazing lives do differently. And now I'm providing you practical, easy to implement insights so you can take your business, your life, and your money to the next level. And in the process of that, I also want you to be healthy and have energy. And that's why we're diving into matcha tea today. Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of demo so you can see how I do it. Real easy. And then I'm gonna come back around and I'm gonna teach you some of the benefits. It's gonna blow you away. So stay tuned. There are so many conflicting reports about coffee. You know, some say it's good, some say it's bad. You then do a little more research, and sometimes the research is coming from a source where you don't know if it's really the truth or not. From all the research I've done, I think there are definitely some benefits to coffee. What I've also found is that caffeine isn't as much of an issue as the toxicity of the coffee is. And in some of the reports I've seen, if a person has any health issues, they may be best served trying a different method in which to get their caffeine or get their ritual of what you get when you drink coffee or matcha tea. So as you know, I drank coffee for years. And then when I started running my mastermind, and now it's one of the most successful masterminds in the world for advisors and financial coaches, I really did so much research to really figure out how do you show up and operate at peak performance. I mean, there were some things I really knew, there were other things I didn't, and what I found was matcha tea. And now I am literally addicted to matcha tea lattes. Now I only let myself have about 1.5 a day because I don't want to have too much caffeine, but they are such game changers. They are to die for. And you can sweeten it with monk fruit, no sugar, and you can add almond milk or coconut milk or really cashew milk, anything. So please click subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified of future episodes. All materials and intellectual property are copywritten by themillionaireseries.com. The information we provide is not intended to replace any advisor or specialist or to provide you investment, financial, tax, retirement, any planning or healthcare advice, and all participants agree to hold millionaireseries.com and its affiliates harmless for results achieved or not achieved. All international copyrights are reserved. For today's show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/185. All show notes go to millionaireseries.com/WLI. Now today we're talking about my matcha tea latte. So the first thing you've got to do, whether you want to improve your diet, you want to improve your mental game, you want to improve your results, is you got to program your mind. The reason most people are not where they want to be financially or personally is because they have something programmed into their mind, into their neural pathways that's not serving them. So if you want a different result, whether it's you want to stop coffee or you want to lower your intake of coffee or you just want to become more healthy, you've got to first of all program your mind. This template will show you how. You can go to millionaireseries.com/RMT to access it. This template has taken me literally 30 years to figure out and put together, and you get it for free, and it will help you immensely because it's going to teach you how to hardwire those neural pathways, those habits, so that you can replace ones that aren't serving you with ones that are. Again, millionaireseries.com/RMT, but programming your mind, in my opinion, is the most critical step on your journey to success that you can do. And it's not only changed my life, but it's changed tens of thousands of other people's lives too. So I hope you take advantage of this free resource, millionaireseries.com/RMT. Let's now dive into the live demo of how I make my matcha tea latte so you can see firsthand what I do literally every day. And it doesn't matter what home I'm at, every home has a blender, a Vitamix, or a NutriBullet. It has monk fruit, it has matcha tea. In fact, when we travel outside the country to our home, I mean, I'm anal. I have so much matcha tea. I'm like, I have to have certain things because you can't get it down there. It was funny because one day I was getting low and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go back to the States. You can get some types of matcha tea that's not as good as the powder, but you can get some in tea bags. And so you can use that. And there have been times where I have been literally out of it. And so I'll use the matcha tea. And then what I do is I just boil that and then I squeeze out the matcha. I don't put too much water in, but I squeeze out the matcha so it's as strong as I can. And then I blend it in with my almond milk and my monk fruit. Literally for years, I was so addicted to coffee. I stopped cold turkey, massive headache, but I had so much more energy. I was like, this is crazy. I still couldn't give up decaf. I'd have organic decaf and I loved it. And then I started running a mastermind and I started doing research and I found the problems not as much with caffeine as with coffee. So if you have any health issues, you might want to consider an alternative to coffee. And that's where I found my favorite, matcha tea. I absolutely love matcha tea. Now, if you get matcha tea and you have it solo, it's not very good tasting. So I'm going to teach you what I do. Now, this is another form of matcha tea. For a long time, I would just go down to the health food store and buy organic matcha tea. And then what I realized is I could go online and get organic matcha powder. And what I do is when this gets low, I just add it to it. All right? So this is my absolute favorite milk. It's coconut almond mixed. The reason I like almond in my matcha tea is because it adds foam, and I love the foam. If you don't like foam, then just coconut milk is fine, but because almond milk has a little more fat, it's better. You can use cashew milk, oat milk, pretty much anything. So what you want to do, now if you, say for instance, just get an organic almond milk, just make sure and really shake it up. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you're going to pour an entire cup in there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to heat it in the microwave for about 1:20. Take it out of the microwave, you're going to pour it here. Now you can do it hot or cold. I prefer it hot. You're going to take, this is where my handy little thing, just a little, like 1/4 of a teaspoon. You can add more. And I just do 1 level scoop. Put it in. I like mine sweetened, so I like monk fruit. You add a good amount, no calories, and it sweetens it up. And then all you do is blend it, pour it on in. It has the foam. If you blend it a little longer, it's going to have even more foam. And then I get an organic coconut sugar, and I just add that to the top. Oh, it's just to die for. It is so good. I could eat that all day. Now, this is what I do as far as my morning ritual. And I'll link to it in the show notes. The first thing I do is rinse my mouth out with coconut. Then I do my lemon water. Make sure if you're doing lemon water, ideally use a straw so you don't, the acid from the lemon does not affect your enamel. Then I'll have a cup of green tea. Mid-morning is when I have my matcha tea. And I only have one. Now this is probably about maybe 1.5 cups. But I don't do too much because I don't want to have too much caffeine. Now, because I am using almond and coconut milk or just almond milk, which is my go-to milk choices, when I make my maca cacao latte in the afternoon or my turmeric milk, which again I'll link to in the show notes, I use a different milk because one of my doctors just feels that if you're, say for instance, only drinking almond milk, you could actually produce allergies. So again, do your own research. I'm not a medical doctor, but it made sense to me. And so I thought, change it up. You can have oat milk, you can have coconut milk, you can even have hemp milk. I use hemp milk a lot of times in my shake, in my morning shake. If I don't use a coconut probiotic, I'll use hemp milk. So again, just shake it up. And that's it. Now, what I'm going to now do is dive into some more specifics. So now let's dive into some of the benefits of matcha tea. You're going to love this. Matcha tea has skyrocketed in popularity. In fact, most coffee chains carry it. What's really interesting is I was actually speaking up in Washington State, and I went through the airport, and I think it was at Pete's Coffee, and I'm like, matcha tea latte. Oh, what's that? Oh my gosh. I tried it. Now, granted, it had way too much sugar in it. It was so good, I became addicted. And unfortunately, a lot of the powders have a lot of sugar in them, not ideal, but you can use your own alternative to sugar. Like I do monk fruit, or you can do stevia. I think monk fruit's a little healthier. It is more expensive, but I prefer that. And then you can use an alternative milk choice. Now I had an almond one there, but oh, it was so good. I literally could have sat and drank about 5 more. It was that good. But just like green tea, matcha tea comes from the Camellia sinensis plant, and I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but they grow it similarly, but what they do about 30 days before they harvest it is they cover it so it doesn't have direct sunlight. And what's powerful about that is it increases the levels of chlorophyll, amino acid, and then it makes it a little bit of a darker green hue. After the leaves are ground up into a fine powder, it becomes known as matcha. And what's really interesting about matcha tea is that it contains nutrients from the entire tea leaf, and as a result you do get more caffeine as well as more antioxidants than are found in just typical green tea. And they've shown a variety of benefits, including helping to protect the liver, promoting heart health, and even aiding in weight loss. So there are some definite benefits. So let's look at some of the health benefits of matcha tea. And I hope you like all these graphics because I personally picked them out myself. Antioxidants. As I mentioned, when you add matcha powder to hot water to make the tea, it contains all the nutrients from the entire leaf, which is really powerful. Matcha is rich in catechins. In fact, one study showed that it had 137 times more catechins than green tea. And catechins, as you may or may not know, act as a natural antioxidant. Antioxidants help stabilize harmful free radicals. These are compounds that can damage cells and cause chronic disease. The antioxidant may help prevent cell damage and even lower our risk of several chronic diseases. Liver health. One study where diabetic rats were given matcha tea for 16 weeks, it showed that it helped prevent damage to both the kidney and the liver. Now, my understanding of testing rats is that they have a very similar tract to us. So a lot of times what they find is when they do tests in rats, it's very similar to how it reacts to us. But again, do your own research. In another study, people with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease who were given green tea extract had significantly reduced liver enzyme levels. Now, elevated levels of these enzymes in the liver are a marker for liver damage. So again, it's got a lot of promise. Improving brain function. One study comparing a group who were given either matcha tea or a bar containing 4 grams of matcha had improved attention, memory, and even reaction time. It contains a compound called L-theanine. This alters the effects of caffeine, promoting alertness and helping to avoid that crash of energy that often comes with caffeine, meaning you feel great and then you crash afterwards. L-theanine has been shown to increase alpha brainwave activity. This helps you to relax and reduce stress. It's that brain state right before you're going to bed. So it's right before the theta state. And the power of the alpha state is that we are relaxed but still awake. It's the state we want to be in when we're programming our mind. And I will just say, I don't drink matcha tea late at night, but I do feel that way. That's why your morning ritual is so important, that you're just easing into your day and you're not just jumping out of bed and running for coffee. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. People are like, oh, just jump and just start doing something. You know, you're going from a delta sleep state where you're completely relaxed, or either even a REM, like a light sleep state, into a beta. It's no wonder people have so many health issues. We want to gradually get into our day, especially many of us have stressful jobs and we have a lot going on. I mean, it's like it's so important that you have that transition to starting your day and ending it, meaning before you go to sleep. Possible cancer prevention. Many of the studies that have been done are with rats, but one study found that green tea extract decreased tumor size and slowed the growth of breast cancer. Matcha tea is especially high in, and this is a hard one to say, but it's epigallocatechin 3 gallate, EGCG, a type of catechin that's been shown to have a powerful anti-cancer property. One test tube study found that EGCG in matcha helped kill off prostate cancer cells. Ooh, I like that. Heart health. Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide. Some studies have shown that drinking green tea, which has a similar nutrient profile to matcha, may help prevent heart disease. Green tea has been shown to reduce levels of total and bad LDL cholesterol as well as triglycerides. It may also help to prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, another factor that may protect against heart disease. Weight loss. This is something that's really interesting. Look at almost every weight loss supplement, especially ones that are more healthy, and almost all of them have green tea extract. It's because of its ability to support weight loss and weight management. Studies show that it may help to speed up metabolism, to increase energy expenditure, and also boost fat burning. One small study showed that taking green tea extract during moderate exercise actually increased fat burning by 17%. Oh my gosh, who doesn't want that? Another study in 14 people found that taking a supplement containing green tea extract significantly boosted 24-hour energy expenditure compared to a placebo. A review of over 10 studies have shown that green tea reduced body weight and helped maintain weight loss. It doesn't get much better than that. So now we've covered matcha tea. Now what I want to dive into are some alternatives to dairy. I myself am very allergic to dairy. I feel better when I don't eat dairy, and you may be the same. So I like either almond milk or coconut milk. I even like hemp milk, but today we're going to dive into either almond or coconut milk. Almond milk is my preferred option because it has more foam. So let's dive into the health benefits of an almond drink or an almond milk. It contains no saturated fat or cholesterol. It's high in healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 helps to lower bad LCL cholesterol. Low fat. It only has 30 calories per cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. The one I use, which is an organic one, it's only 30 calories, and it is also vanilla. My favorite is unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and then I sweeten it with monk fruit, which has no calories. Monk fruit is more expensive than stevia. However, I think it's healthier. It has a very low glycemic index and load, so those of us who have blood sugar issues, it's perfect. And then it's high in vitamins and minerals, including B vitamins, magnesium, selenium, and iron. And it also has 50% of the US recommended daily allowance of vitamin E, which is known to help against cancers and also help with your joints, your skin, your hair. Amazing. And then it's high in fiber. All right, health benefits of coconut milk. It's high in fiber. It contains anti-inflammatories, antimicrobial lipids, and antifungal properties. These help to strengthen the immune system by fighting bacteria and viruses and reducing inflammation. I mean, if you know anything about health, the first thing you got to do is you've got to lower your inflammation. And inflammation is the first step to say you're heading for some disease. So anything that can lower our inflammation is a good thing. It's high in magnesium, which helps to regulate blood pressure. And it's got healthy fat, which is believed to support heart and brain health. And then it contains lauric acid. And lauric acid makes up about 50% of the coconut oil, and it helps to increase the HDL, which is the good cholesterol. And it contains no lactose. Oh my goodness. Now, as I mentioned, the first thing you got to do, you want to start lowering your level of coffee, increasing your matcha. You want to become healthier. You want to become thinner. You want to become more fulfilled. You got to program your mind, my friends. Nothing's going to change until you program your mind. This free resource, the Program Your Mind template, is going to show you how. millionaireseries.com/RMT. It took me years to understand how the brain worked and how our limbic brain takes over when we're
not in the driver's seat of our life. And the reason we're not in the driver's seat of our business or our life is because we let that limbic brain just take over. And then we're emotionally based and we react to things, and we don't let our prefrontal cortex, which is more reasonable and rational, get in control of what's happening. This resource is going to show you what to do. Program Your Mind template. You actually fill it out. You're actually going to work through it, but it's millionaireseries.com/RMT. I really encourage you to do it. It's going to help you not only to lower your coffee intake, increase your water intake, get more sleep, become a more fulfilled person, but it's also going to help you to eliminate any bad habits that you may have. For today's show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/185. For all show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/WLI.
So there you have it. Wasn't that easy? I know. There's no excuse. And once you start drinking it, it's so good. You just can't wait to have a cup each day. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Annette Ba'u, host of the Millionaire Insider and founder of millionaireseries.com. All international copyrights are reserved. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye now.
Wasn't that easy? I just can't wait to hear not only the results you get from starting to increase matcha tea, but how much better you feel. I just love it. As I shared with you, no matter where I go, I've got my matcha tea. And what's really cool about monk fruit is you can actually get those in individual packages. So if you're traveling, you can take those with you. You can also get matcha tea in individual packages. So there's really no excuse. And the results are so worth it. So thank you so much for joining me today.